FC said, "Hey yo, sorry if I already asked. Can you briefly explain the EF not having augmented market making and the implications lower volume or in a projects that pump?" So yeah, that's true. So what is market making? Okay, that's an important first question. Market making has to do with providing liquidity on order books in market services such as exchanges, right? So if you list with an exchange, they're going to say, hey, we need our order books to be liquid. That way people can buy and sell with minimizing slippage, okay? Because if you don't have a lot of liquidity or no liquidity, it makes an asset more volatile, where if somebody wants to enter, there's a greater price movement. And if they want to exit, there's a, basically a dump. So what most, let's say on a basic level, usually you'll have ranges beyond spot, where let's say you can go on like CoinMarketCap and you can say, okay, well, what is the liquidity to the upside and to the downside within 2% of spot, right? That's generally one trading range where people will actively put liquidity, so the price can kind of fluctuate within a range around that spot price, and then you can extend that, and you can look at like at 5%, what's the trading depth, at 10%, what's the trading depth, right? Usually that it can be charted on an exchange, and it's something to be aware of. But it doesn't always necessarily indicate the actual market making capabilities, because sometimes you have liquidity on either side of a trade that is simply not on the order books, right? It's sitting there waiting for price movement, and then immediately a bobble movement and kind of act to stabilize, that price movement. Now, the EF doesn't actively market make, meaning we try to stay neutral. We try to just say, okay, we're going to have an even spread on both sides of spot, at certain depths, whatever the exchange, requires. And we're just going to kind of float with the movement of ERG, right? So, in let's say times of sell pressure, there's going to be a tendency for the market making activity to move more to the ERG position. And then in times where there's buying pressure, we'll slowly kind of move more into like the USDT or BTC, depending on what the pair is, right? And having neutral market making, in my opinion, is pretty critical, because we have an information asymmetry over the rest of the market, right? If we have a tendency to know what announcements are coming, or what partnerships are coming, or, when exchanges are going to list, right? And so if there's no, let's just say, neutral party that has that asymmetry, I think that's basically exploiting a community. I don't agree with that at all. Now, we also have an even sketchier thing that can happen in this space, which is called rebase market making. And basically what that means is you have actors that will go and they will get basically a loan on the side, and it'll come with a certain interest rate. And then they will trade that pair and try to cover the cost plus the interest rate on the loan and keep the difference, right? And that's a very, very volatile, risky thing. And a lot of the larger funds that kind of blew up in this last cycle, I imagine, had very heavy rebate trading, and they were getting loans and trading pairs, and then not only were there let's say active trades failing, now they also have this counterparty that they own a loan to with a certain rate of return. And in many cases it seemed as though that's how they were providing these yields in their TradeFi products. And risky business. In my opinion, it's pretty bad practice, especially when there's information asymmetry, because it's simply not a fair market. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I'm pretty much agree.
Yeah, and it's sad. I think it's more common. Like if you look at the liquidity, we get people that they They say, how come your volume is so low? And then I'd say because it's a reflection of demand. Versus if you have a project that their market cap is $100 million and their trading volume is $100 million. And then you go and you look at the liquidity depth and within, let's say, a 2% range, and it's $20,000 and $20,000, there's some sketchy shit happening there. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, probably wash trading.
Yeah, probably, wash trading or, it's just not a transparent practice in our industry. So there's not really any, I guess, other way to put it other than you have to know your assumptions, something to look into. And I've never heard projects actively talk about that, but in my opinion, it's an assumption that everybody in this industry needs to know and be aware of.